Welcome back into the channel, everybody. Today I'm going over a Darth Vader control deck that I'm playing with. I'm going red-yellow Darth Vader as our leader, and I'm trying some weird things. But let me go through the list, let me just say it off the bat. It is not optimized in the sense that I only have one Force Lightning and one Boba Fett the unit, and only two Fallen Lightsabers. I would have more of each of those cards if I had more. So if you are watching this video and you have more of those cards, highly suggest you taking some things out to put those cards in. But let me go through kind of the premise of the list. We're kind of going into the yellow event heavy style deck. So we're running a lot of the things that like to play events. So when I typically come up with an idea for a deck, I try to come up with like 3 to 4 cards that I think have this kind of cool synergy and then flesh out the deck around that. And the premise here is essentially, okay, I want to play a lot of events and I want to deal some good stuff out when I play those events. So we're running Bib Fortuna and Jabba the Hutt, who clearly have good synergy with events. Jabba can search the deck for tricks, and Bib can reduce the cost of events. Then we're also playing Bosk, which is someone who can deal damage if you play an event. So that's kind of the synergy there. And honestly, I could even go a little heavier on events, in my opinion. And I've played with the ratio a little bit. You could definitely drop some units. But let me talk about some of the events that we're running. We're running Force Lightning, only one of, because I only have one again. We're running Force Throw. We're running Shoot First. We're running Force Choke, Asteroid, Sanctuary, and finally Waylay. Definitely some more events that you could put in that are out there. This is kind of what I'm sticking with for now. So I have a lot of the Force-based events because I am running, obviously, Darth Vader as my leader, who will come out on turn 7 and be a Force unit. But I'm also running Seventh Sister and Fifth Brother. So both of those can also give me that Force tag, along with, in the Super Late game, Emperor Palpatine, who can give me the Force tag as well. So all those units just have some pretty fun synergy with those Force events, obviously being able to trigger the bonus effects of the Force events, but also with the Fallen Lightsaber, which will give it a really cool, which will give the unit it attaches to a really cool event. So my favorite target for the Fallen Lightsaber is Seventh Sister. Second favorite would be Fifth Brother, or Vader's always great. But Seventh Sister being 6 health, giving it +3/+3 is really good, keeping her at 9 health. She has Saboteur. She can consistently sneak around, hit the base for 6 damage, and then also get her effect to hit something else for 3 is amazing. That's definitely one of the main things you want to do with this deck. As you're doing that, she's kind of your win scenario. Keep her on the board, keep hammering her away. You're going to try to control the rest of the board with your events and with your units, right? So, obviously, Emperor Palpatine, when he comes in, he can deal some solid damage out onto the board. That'll help you clear units out. Force Choke, Force Throw, all that will help you clear units. Shoot First will really help you clear units. But then you also have just some exhausting mechanics with the Cartel Spacer, as long as you have some more yellow cards out. So you can do a few things like that, which is fun. Boba Fett clearly goes super well with the Cartel Spacer when you can exhaust something then attack it, or Boba Fett in general is just an insane card. Again, if you have more than one, definitely put those in. Multiple things you could drop out for it. And then at the high end, beside Palpatine, we have the Bounty Hunting Crew. Since I don't have too many events, this card kind of works to let me fish some of them back if I need them. But I found it a nice mix of having 2 of these and 2 Jabba. Even though the deck isn't like extremely event heavy, I think it's more event heavy than I typically run. Even though it's not extremely event heavy, both these cards kind of let me get additional play out of my events, which is really great. Side strategy, though, beyond just base control and going for Seventh Sister, and you can just kind of play this deck in the mid-range and kind of adjust to what your opponent's doing a little bit. So if you want to play it a little bit on the fast side, you definitely can. You can, obviously not go all the way to 8 resources for Palpatine, but try to control the board, get Seventh Sister up and running, and kind of just start swinging early as quick as you can. But you could also even just play the Fallen Lightsaber on, like, Fifth Brother or Vader Saber on Fifth Brother and really just start trying to swing that way. You can kind of just exhaust a lot of the opposing units and then just soup up some of your units and go face. So if they're playing more of a control style and you really need to get to the base, you can definitely do that type of thing. And just swing really hard that way. You can also slow it down a little bit and just really go out and control the board more as you're building to the late game, and the late game being bringing Darth Vader out on turn 7. So Darth Vader comes out. He clearly is a force to be reckoned with at 5'8", and an amazing on-attack effect. We're running 3 Vader's lightsabers, which is just a crazy card when you actually can play it on Vader. But +3/+1 for 2 resources, and when played, if it's attached to Darth Vader, you can deal 4 damage to a ground unit. So you can put that on Vader, blast something on the ground, swing with Vader. So you can kind of, I like to play this as kind of a high-end mid-range deck. You kind of want to win turn 7, 8 in that range. Either the turn Vader comes out or the turn after, do a lot of damage that way, like play Palpatine and try to win there. If you're going against like a Palpatine deck and you're going to be, they're going to be really winning with some massive spaceships toward the end of the game, maybe not the best plan to wait out and hold all your pieces that long, but rather try to speed it up and go a little bit faster, right? Soup up Fifth Brother, Seventh Sister, and really go for the win earlier. But it is a control deck, and I would say, again, I haven't made a sideboard for this deck, haven't taken this to events, but if I was going to make a sideboard, I would want to take things to shift the speed fast. So I think this version here with these cards, even if you add more Force Lightning or Boba Fett, I still think this version plays to the a little bit late and mid range, and I think that's a good spot to be in. I think you're going to do decent against aggro because you have a ton of removal. I think you're going to do uh, good against other mid range. I just think against control, if you can't win around turn 7 or 8, you're going to be in trouble. So you could, against control, you could probably shift out some of the cards that are your control cards and kind of go for some more aggression type cards. So you could shift out like Asteroid Sanctuary. You could, shift out a few cards like that to then bolster back up, even Bib at that point, shift those cards out, and then throw in some things with higher attack values. You don't have, you only have 1 6-drop. You could put, an additional Emperor Palpatine in for overwhelming the extra damage. You could put ATSTs just for additional overwhelm and extra damage. Kind of just try to speed it up, like how your top end damage there. But also you could even put in some like actually hard hitting 2-cost units. You see, we only have the First Legion Stormtrooper, Bib, and the Cartel Spacer. So you could just put in some more hard hitting 2 units or even 4-cost units. So that's kind of where I'd go with the side deck if I was going to make one for this. And if you're interested in if you guys are interested in me doing that, I can gladly throw together what I would run with this. But like I said, main thing here is you're kind of a later version of a mid-range deck than typical, which I think will help you against some solid other mid-range decks, and I think it will help you, and I think it'll be controlling enough against aggro decks to be a solid deck. So this is something a little different, I think, something a little bit out there, but I really enjoy it. I think it's super fun to play, and hopefully you guys give it a shot. And truthfully, hopefully you guys have more Force Lightning and more Boba Fett than I do, because they're both amazing cards that should be in here more, at a higher quantity, no doubt. I forgot to mention Greedo, but obviously since we're playing a little bit more of the event-heavy style, Greedo is a fantastic card to slot in here, but we're going to run 3 of him all day, and his effect won't always go off, but he'll still be a 3/1. One other thing that you could do to kind of speed up your deck would be throw in an additional 3/1 1-drop in the Stormtrooper, the red 3/1 Stormtrooper. That will help you get a little bit more damage out there early. So hopefully you guys give this a spin. Everyone's got Vader from the starter deck, so he's a fun champ, fun leader to play. And if you got a lot of these cards, clearly this deck has some legendaries and some rares. Wouldn't really call this a budget deck, probably mid costing deck here. But if you guys have a lot of these cards, give it a run. Tell me what you think. Let me know how the games go in the comments below, what you guys did well against, what you did bad against, etc. And let me know. If you take it to an event, let me know that as well. But stay subscribed to the channel so you can be here for a bunch more videos, and leave a like, leave a comment, and we'll catch you in the next one.